Swamin Namaste Natalokabandho Karunya Sindho Patitam Bhavabdho Mamuddharatmiya Kataksha Drishtya Rijvyati Karunya Sudhabhivrishtya Swamin Namaste, Swamin Namaste, Swamin Namaste, Swamin Namaste. Jnanasvarupam nijabhavayuktam Anandamanandakaram prasannam Yogindramedhyam bhavarogavadyam Srimadgurum nityamaham namami Srimadgurum nityamaham namami Nityaya Satyaya Chidatmakaya Navyaya Bhavyaya Paratparaya Shuddhaya Buddhaya Niranjanaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya Namostu Nityam Guru Shekharaya Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. We were actually discussing Sattva Guna, and I have been taking up some shlokas from Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha. And I think 2 weeks back, before all this happened, with our dear Lakshmi Narayanan, I was discussing this shloka. Garbhavasa jani pranashana jara vyadhyadishu praninam yad dukkham paridrishyate cha narake tachintayitva muhuhu Doshaneva vilokya sarva vishayeshvacham vimuchyabhitah Chittagranthi vimochanaya sumatihi sattvam samalambatam. It talks about, this is the 363rd verse of Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha, and this says that to attain liberation, anybody with excellent intelligence, one who is wise and intelligent and wants to attain liberation, that is, wants to get rid of the shackles of the mind, he should take to Sattva Guna, cultivation of Sattva Guna, and progress in this path. And in this shloka, he is saying that, not only that, to grow towards Sattva Guna, how will the wish to grow in Sattva Guna come? So he says that one should constantly think about chintayitva muhu. Again and again, repeatedly think about what? Garbhavasa, Jani, Pranashana, Jara, Vyadhi, Adishu. That is, we should constantly reflect upon our life. For anybody, first one is in the mother's womb, although nobody has any experience of that. Even the birth we don't experience. The death also we ourselves don't experience. But we should think about that for any life there is a period where one is in the mother's womb, and it might not be a very pleasant one. Then the birth, which also during birth the baby undergoes some kind of pain, and many times it may not be very comfortable. And then the death. For death also, everybody will undergo some kind of disease, pain, suffering. Also, the sorrow of disease, the affliction that we undergo when we are diseased, the body gets disease. So Shankaracharya is saying that constantly, repeatedly think that all these things which is happening to oneself, also happening to everybody else with whom we are concerned. And it gives a duhkha. There is duhkha associated with it. Maybe a child is born, we get very happy, we become very happy, we throw a party, we call people, there will be a lot of congratulating one another. But the child may not be a normal child. The child may not be living. After some time, suddenly the child may die. It happens very, very commonly. Also, after a child grows, you may find that the child doesn't study well, doesn't have intelligence. So it is everything, all of these has duhkha associated with it. So why this is being discussed? It is being discussed that normally human beings, they feel that one should be happy. In our life, we all want to be happy, peaceful, contented. And this happiness, we always seek outside from lot of objects which our senses are engaged in. Our five senses go and interact with the corresponding objects, and we want to possess them, enjoy them, and we feel that we'll get happiness out of that. Now, we must also reflect upon the fact that all this happiness which we are trying to get from perishable objects, those are short-lived. And even though it gives us joy and happiness, delight, everything at the end is mixed with some kind of anxiety and suffering. So, for praninam, this garbhavasa jani pranashana jara vyadhi adishu yad dukkham paridrishyate cha narake. So not even here, if you think, generally it is thought that after the body dies, it will go to hell or heaven. Even there, if you think like that, rebirth and all that, there is dukkha. So tat chintayitva muhuhu. Reflect repeatedly. Then doshaneva vilokya. And see the evil in this. That is not going to give you full happiness. It is mixed with unhappiness, anxiety and fear. That what will happen? Suppose you get a child is born, there will always a fear associated with it. Will the child be all right? Will he study well? Will he be, if any disease is there, then all the more anxiety whether the child will live or be cured. So for everything, each and everything, when our bodies or anybody else's disease is there is always so much of anxiety. So life is filled with anxiety and fear, and it gives us duhkha. Ultimately, it is either happiness or it is unhappiness. So whenever there is anxiety and fear, it is a duhkha that we get. So we have to reflect upon our life. Why? If we want to be liberated from the shackles of the mind, what is this duhkha? What is this anxiety? It is keeping us in bondage. Our mind and intelligence, they become constricted. They become bound by all these thoughts. Then, sarva vishayeshu asham vimuchya abhitaha. Also, we have to constantly think about the desires that constantly give us suffering. We are having desires, and because of desire, if we get something that we have desired, then we are happy. But along with that, there will be a fear of losing the happiness, or how to protect or preserve the happiness. Suppose we are wanting some money, we get it, then it will be how to preserve it, how to increase it, how not to get it thieved or robbed. So with everything there is a fear associated. So it says that all these things we should be constantly reflecting upon and take to Sattva Guna. Now for Sattva Guna, we must be wishing for it. I had discussed in that session that unless one has a strong yearning to have Sattva Guna, that we must become sattvic from all sides. That is, we should be having an integral sattvic feeling. In our mind we should be sattvic, in our thoughts we should be sattvic, whatever eat should be sattvic, whatever we deal with should be sattvic. That is, the effect of rajoguna and tamoguna should be less. So Sattva Guna should be increased, and the effects of rajoguna and tamoguna should be removed constantly. So naturally, we'll have to be in a sort of discipline where we repeatedly look into ourselves whether we are leading a life like this or not. So that becomes a pursuit for oneself. So now, in this sloka, just take this sloka, what it is saying? It is talking about Viveka, Vairagya and Mumuksha. Now Viveka, Vairagya and Mumuksha must be there. So I spoke to you about the Mumuksha. Unless one has Mumuksha, that you want to be liberated, and this attaining Sattva Guna, taking to Sattva Guna is one part of it, one step into it. Unless Sattva Guna is there, the mind will not become restful. The mind has to be restful for the self to get revealed. Our real identity is we are the changeless self. We are not the body. Mistakenly we think that this body is the I. But we are not that. The body is not the self. The self, the real identity is changeless, imperishable, whereas the body is changeful. And the self, as a changeless entity, it is the real identity, and it is the witness of everything. It witnesses our body, mind, intelligence, our senses, our thoughts, everything. Also his whole world. Now, to this real identity we mistakenly forget. We get associated with the changeful body, thinking that I am this. And because of that mistaken identity, mistakenly thinking that I am the body, all these likes and dislikes, happiness and unhappiness, all these things, the anxieties, fear, etc., they come and overpower us. I think I'm just telling you, but you know all this. All of you have been seekers and you have been pursuing, so you know this. Now, the thing is that to understand our real nature, the mind should be calm, tranquil. It's just like when there is a clear water, we can see our face if we look into it. But suppose we give it a little ripple, we move, we give a motion into the water, then our face will not be seen clearly. Similarly, a mirror, if the mirror is polished well, we can see our reflection very clearly. But suppose it is dusty, our face will not be seen clearly. Similarly, the mind, if the mind is not clear, not steady, not calm and tranquil, and there is no agitation in the mind because of desires, then only the self, which is ourselves, it is the real identity, is always there. I am that self. But we are not able to understand it and experience it because of the agitation of the mind. So that when the mind becomes calm and steady, the self just reflects itself. And the mind becoming calm and steady, that is the Sattva Guna. The mind at that time is very, very pure. Very, very pure. So that is why we have to take to the pursuit of Sattva Guna. And as I said, who will want it? Because when it comes to a pursuit, it is a sort of a little discipline that you will have to withdraw from many of the distracting thoughts, distracting activities which are opposed to Sattva Guna. Maybe the life has been like this, that you have been very rajasic, quite tamasic, but you are wishing to have sattvic tendencies more and more. Then you will have to withdraw from the rajasic tendencies and the tamasic tendencies. So, an yearning is necessary. A mumuksha is necessary. Ultimately, this mumuksha is for attaining liberation. And I had explained to you the other day that Shankaracharya has described mumuksha, Tibratara, Madhyamiki, Manda and Atimanda. Tibratara is one who wants nothing else than liberation. So he is ready to leave everything for the sake of knowing the self. And Madhyamiki or Madhyama is a mediocre one who wishes to but is not able to fully leave the attractions of life. So it is halfway. Sometimes gives some time to spiritual pursuit and maybe most of the time to the worldly pursuit. He has that yearning and feeling, understands that this is the supreme and noble state, but is not able to take to it wholesomely. And Manda is those who feel, oh, what if there is so much time, why should I now do? Why should I now take to this pursuit? Why should I have yearning? Let me first enjoy. And Atimanda is they don't think anything. They feel that I should live my life, and in the process if I get some liberation, that is also okay, I will take to it. So this is what. Now, whatever it is, we are understanding that for the experience of the self, our mind should become sattvic. Mind should become calm and tranquil. Now the rajasika tendencies, they and the tamasika tendencies, they bring about agitation to the mind and lethargy to the mind, does not allow us to take to the pursuit. So we have to be very, very careful, and we have to remove those tendencies. Now what is the effect of tamoguna? Tamoguna actually brings it a lot of lethargy, nidra, alasya, then inattention, then procrastination, all those things. And actually all this is brought about because they're out of ignorance. Because of tamoguna, because of the ignorance, one feels that the body which is changeful, that is the self. And along with that comes all the tendencies of tamoguna. And rajoguna also, it creates lot of agitations. First of all, it makes people work one after another, work will be done by people, so they are not restful. So to become restful, one should do such activities which will make the mind calm and poised. So this is a pursuit that one should take to. Now, in this sloka, as I said, it is just telling us that one must see the life janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. In Bhagavad Gita it is said that we must always see janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. The evil in these we must see. So here also in this sloka it is saying, see the dukkha. That is, with your intelligence, reflect upon, introspect, and do vichara, and find that whether the life is giving you permanent happiness. We must be reflecting in life and see that life is actually bringing in lot of anxiety. Unless we use our intelligence and reflect upon and do vichara, or we do the nitya vastu vivekaha, that is what is permanent and what is impermanent. And in our day-to-day life, there should be introspection with our thoughts, with our speech, with our actions, with our interactions. Always there should be reflection and introspection. And one must come to this knowledge that life, whatever happiness we are getting, whatever maybe we get lot of praise, appreciation, we get lot of respect by others, ultimately all will go. Whether it is property, whether it is health, whether it is very good family, whether it is prestige, nothing will remain. So this kind of introspection is necessary. So this sloka is guiding us towards viveka. That is, we must introspect and be vicharavan. Also, it is telling us about Vairagya, that once you see this, that nothing gives us permanent happiness, you must not feel attracted towards this world at all. We are, bound by our likes and dislikes. We feel I am this, I am such and such, and all these things belong to me, and we want to get pleasure out of all the things that we possess. We forget that they are not going to give us happiness. So when the mind starts taking to viveka and vichara and understands that whatever we feel that would be giving us happiness, there is fear associated with it, there is anxiety associated with it, there is dukkha associated with it, then the mind will try to withdraw from those attractions and turn towards oneself, where we will understand our real identity, which gives bliss forever. So, actually through this shloka, it is again taking us towards viveka, vairagya and mumuksha. Now, the other day we had discussed about mumuksha. Now here vairagya also is of three types. Now, in Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha, it says, it has defined vairagya as this. What is vairagya? It says that everything by reflection, using viveka and vichara, it finds that whatever we enjoy in this life, and if you consider the otherworldly life, everything is anitya, impermanent. So, the person, the seeker, who reflects like this, does not want to enjoy any of that. He has nispriha, he becomes nispriha, and he has a tuchcha buddhi, that is, everything is having insignificance as regards to delight. He feels that nothing will give me delight. This is called Vairagya. That kind of a Vairagya is tivra. That is, when you feel that nothing will make you feel or make you enjoy. You feel that from nothing of this world or the other world, you can get happiness. That kind of a Vairagya is Tivra Vairagya. And actually it is described by Shankaracharya as Kaka Vishthavat. Just like the droppings of a crow, we will not touch it even. If we find the droppings of a crow or any bird or anything, as we simply throw it away, we don't want to touch. All the enjoyments of life, a seeker who has Tivra Vairagya, his feeling towards worldliness is like this. Worldly object is like this. Tivra Vairagya. So you have to assess how your Vairagya is increasing. One may not have Tivra Vairagya. When it becomes Tivra Vairagya, most of the people, they take to sannyasa. But there is Madhyama Vairagya. What is Madhyama Vairagya? Just like this Mumuksha, which is Madhyama or Madhyamiki, that we understand that nothing is going to give us happiness, but still we are attached to it. That is the Vairagya. That is, seeing the ephemerality of life, Vairagya arises. We understand that life is ephemeral, life is transitory, life is short-lived, all the happiness is short-lived, or even if it is there for a longer period, it is associated with fear and anxiety, and still mind is not able to come away from those enjoyments. It again and again tries to get enjoyment from these objects or the worldly objects, which will not give us permanent happiness. That is the Madhyama Vairagya. And Manda Vairagya is, suddenly, suppose you lose your wealth or your property, or some death takes place. Seeing that, suddenly you feel a lot of Vairagya, that, there is nothing in this life. Life is so short-lived and anything can happen to anybody. That kind of thought will remain in the mind for some time. And then you will again forget. And again you take to the worldliness. So that kind of Vairagya is Manda Vairagya, which is sudden and short-lived. And it is called Smashana Vairagya also. Seeing bodies being burnt in the Smashana or any death having taken place. That happens. And it is also called Markata Vairagya. That is, it is like, Markata is monkey. So just the monkeys, as they are very restless, they jump from here to there. So Vairagya will come and possess you for some time and it will go away. So again some incident will take place where the reality of life will be opened before our eyes. Then again a little Vairagya will take place and you will feel that no, I must look for what is permanent. I must look for that or that state. Staying where or being where I will not be affected. I must search for this, I must pursue that. So the feeling of taking to spiritual sadhana, that feeling will rise and then it will again go away. Because this kind of Vairagya comes only because of some incidents. It is called Manda Vairagya. So most of the people are having Madhyama Vairagya and Madhyama Mumuksha. But all these can be developed. So this developing this and going towards Tivra, that is, you grow your Vairagya and Mumuksha towards its becoming Tivra and Tivratara, you must take to some kind of sattvic disciplines. So this actually I will slowly discuss. What are the sattvic disciplines? I am saying that we should take to Sattva Guna. How do we take to Sattva Guna? What should we do for Sattva Guna? Is it only that we take sattvic food? What else? We are constantly receiving from the world through our five senses, and all that should be sattvic. And what does it mean actually? We will do that slowly. But now I thought that it will be very nice to discuss this. I am saying that this sloka, when I studied, see, this is the 363 sloka, words of Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha. I can go to the 364 and go past. But I feel that there is a lot of things to discuss here. This one shloka is telling us Chintayitva Muhu. So let us see how we should think. So it is saying that see the evil of life, that Janma, first of all in the Garbha, then Janma, then Mrityu, then Jara, Vyadhi, etc. In that see the duhkha and see the dosha. In that, in the whole life, so what are the evil in this life? Think about it. Think about it. How will we think? We don't know how to think actually. Many people, many come and say that we are always discussing in the Vedanta, we are saying that we have to do Vichara. How is Vichara done? In our day-to-day life, how do we take to Vichara? What should we do? What exactly we should do? What thought, what kind of thought, or which train of thought will be called as the Vedanta Vichara? And doing everyday regular work, can we do Vichara? So what is Vichara? How do we think about it? What should be thought? If we cannot do it ourselves or think about it ourselves, we do not know, we have to learn. Learn from where? Either you ask somebody who knows it, you ask your guru, or we learn from the scriptures. So in all these texts, there are so many shlokas which help us to do Vichara. Whatever we ourselves will not be able to think deeply, which will make our mind take to Vairagya. That is, Vairagya means what? Withdrawing yourselves from the pettiness of this world, from all the objects which are transitory, which will not give you any kind of permanent peace and happiness. Withdraw your mind from there and as far as possible dwell in the thought of Atma, dwell in the thought of Brahman, dwell in the thought of God, which is permanent, imperishable, eternal. That is, from the plurality, we bring our mind to that single presence, whenever possible. So, how do you take to this Vichara? I will discuss some of the shlokas. I hope that you will like it. I feel that, there are so many shlokas which gives so much of insight that, actually we are every day, we are thinking many things ourselves, but we do not know that this is the way a Vichara for spiritual pursuit should be done. Now, whenever there is Vairagya or Mumukshuta, what will happen? The spiritual pursuit will progress. So Viveka, Vairagya, Mumuksha, and also there are some qualities like Shamadhamadi we have seen in Sadhana Chatushtaya. All these are interlinked. Suppose this Vairagya and Mumukshuta are not there and they are not strong. So who is taking to Sattva Guna? A Mumukshu. One must have this Mumuksha to get liberated. And also, just Mumuksha will not do. You must withdraw yourself from the worldly entanglements. Whatever takes your mind to the world, you must withdraw it. So Vairagya should be there. How will Vairagya be there? Once we can withdraw our mind from anything when we think that that is absolutely unnecessary. Anything, any thought. We withdraw it, or whether it is a thought, whether it is people, places, when we feel that it is not necessary, it is absolutely meaningless, then our mind automatically withdraws. So, in this, to increase Vairagya, our mind should understand that from whatever we are thinking very important for our life, those are all transitory. So, and it is not going to give us any permanence. So naturally the mind starts withdrawing from it. And at the same time, it looks towards the Atma, which will give us permanent happiness. So this whole thing, it all happens together. But suppose this Vairagya and Mumukshuta is not there, not strong, then whatever discipline you do, mind you, whatever discipline you do, many of you have a spiritual routine. Many of you have, and that is very good. Not to have any spiritual routine is not good. We know some of the devotees, for some time they will keep to some routines, and then as soon as something happens, whether they have gone say for work or for any social necessity, they have gone to any other place, all routines, all spiritual routines will be lost. And they have themselves said, they themselves come and say that everything is lost. And when I am in the midst of many other people who are worldly, I lose everything. All my routines I lose. I talk in a different manner, and then I feel very sad. So many people come and tell us. Why? Because Vairagya is not there. Because the Mumuksha is not strong. Vairagya and Mumuksha, if they are not strong, even if you have pursued a routine, devotional routine, or a spiritual routine, they will not be stable. And they will be useless. Useless like what? Useless like, say, we are in a desert. In the desert, sometimes, though there is no water, we will feel that there is water. Now that water, which is appearing to be water, does it wet the sand? No. Similarly, it will be like that although we are taking to some discipline, we get up early in the morning, take bath, we light a lamp, light some incense sticks, we read something, we do our prayers, chant something, we sit for meditation every day, read a book, maybe Bhagavad Gita, we listen to some lectures every day. But unless the mind slowly increases its Vairagya and Mumukshuta, all this is useless. It will be just some routine. So my dear children, just see. I think I am the one who always tell you, you have to assess. We have to assess ourselves. Is my Vairagya increasing? Vairagya means what? Maybe you are becoming more and more interested in reading something or listening to the lectures. The other day somebody was saying that I am always listening to lectures. From the time I get up, I start listening with my headphones. And when I do my household work, I listen. When I drive, I listen. When I eat, I listen. Yes, listening is very good. But along with that is your entanglement with your family, your children, your possessions, your wealth, your prestige, your fear of your body and diseases. Is it decreasing or not? Is Vairagya developing or not? Is Mumuksha increasing or not? How will you know your Mumuksha? How much you are wanting to have this spiritual enlightenment and how much time you are giving to the other enlightenments, the worldly enlightenments. So this assessment has to be done. So, in Viveka Chudamani, this in the verse number 30, Shankaracharya has said, Etayor mandata yatra viraktatva mokshayoho marau sariravattatra shamadir bhanamatrata. Etayor mandata yatra viraktatva mokshayoho marau sariravattatra shamadir bhanamatrata. He says that even if you are taking to some routines, and some people are also doing pranayama or restraining the mind, restraining the senses, and taking to other disciplines, all this will not serve any purpose, will be unless Vairagya and Mumuksha are there. So one must have a habit. I was saying that repeatedly. This shloka has said, not me actually. It says that tat chintayitva muhuhu, repeatedly. That is, make a habit, that make an abhyasa, a habit, a discipline, a routine of thinking and reflecting. Reflecting on that the life is transitory, it will not stay, it is impermanent, and the self, the Atma, is permanent. And if we want to go beyond the shackles of mind and intelligence and want to get liberated, we must withdraw from this worldliness and keep on dwelling on the thought of Atma. This is what one should do as a habit. So both Abhyasa and Vairagya, both are necessary, Moksha is necessary. Now I have brought this word Abhyasa also. So this Viveka, as I was saying, this shloka, it tells us that one must do Vichara. What is the Vichara? See, this one shloka, which I will explain to you. Ajanandahamāhatmyam patatu shalabhastīvradahane samīnopyajñānāt vadishayutamashnātu pishitam vijanantopyete vayamiha vipajjālajatilan namuncāmaha kāmānaha Gahano moha mahima. This is from Vairagya Shatakam. In Vairagya Shatakam, this says, Ajanan daha mahatmyam patatu shalabhas tīvra dahane saminopya ajñānāt vadisha yutam ashnātu pishitam vijanantopyete vayamiha vipajjala jatilan namuncāmaha Kāmānaha gahano moha mahima. You know what it is saying? It is saying that not knowing the burning power of fire. Say there is a fire burning, even bulbs burning. What do the insects do? The insects, they get attracted by that fire and they jump into it. They don't know the burning power. They do not know. They are ignorant. So they don't know. They get deluded by the rupa, the beauty of the fire. And so they just jump into it out of ignorance. And they get burnt. Now, fishes, what do? When a fishing rod is put in the water with a bait. Smelling that and the taste of it, they just take the bait. So they just take the bait attached to the hook and they are caught. Now, Ajanan daha mahatmyam patatu shalabhas tibra dahane. Ajanan, not knowing, daha mahatmyam, the burning power, shalabha patatu tibra dahane. The shalabha, the insects, they fall into the fire. Sa minopi ajnanat, because of ignorance, the fishes also, vadishayutam ashnatu pishidam. In that fishing hook, the bait which is kept there, it just eats it. Ashnatu, it eats that and gets caught. Vijanantopyete vayamiha vipajjala jatilan. Now, these two, the examples have been given of a fish and an insect. These two, out of ignorance, they have done it. They go and eat, the fish goes and eats the bait, and the insect goes and falls into the fire. Saying that we, the human beings, we know what all duhkha is there in this life and what all vipad, danger is there in this life. We know about it very well. But we simply do not give any attention. Namunchamaha kamanaha gahano moha mahima. But in spite of having discrimination and the knowledge, we have got enough discrimination to understand what is good for us and what is not good for us. And we have this knowledge. In spite of that, we do not renounce the sensual desires. We know that even if we get many things, the three worlds, we will not be able to be happy. We will be only fearful, burdened. How to preserve them, how to increase them, how to protect them from thieves. That goes by if you have wealth. What about the body, the disease, the old age? Every time we are only afraid, fearful. So knowing that the life is not going to give us any kind of permanent peace, knowing this, still we go after the sensual desires, which is having lot of vipajjala, that is, lot of dangers associated with it. Seeing that people are getting into danger, doing things, we also want to do that. Alas, and it says that, see, look at our delusion. Look at our delusion. So, this Vichara, the scripture, our sacred text, they are making us understand how to do this Vichara. We have to see, in everyday life, in the rainy season, we will see the insects going and falling. And here we are all having these electric bulbs. So there will be so many insects surrounding the bulbs and all will die and fall. My dear children, our Vichara, our reflection, our thoughts should see such small, small things in our life and learn. Should try to compare it with our own life and see whether we are also doing the same thing. Maybe we are not going and jumping into the fire, but we are doing many things, taking risks, which is not necessary. We are desiring so much, and for each desire, the desire doesn't become extinguished. It is only pouring ghee into the fire. One desire is over, another desire rises up. And this one is over, another rises up. So, we have to constantly reflect like this, and our text They always help us. So to know how to do vichara, you have to either go to somebody, it may be a Mahatma, it may be your Guru, listen to him, ask him. From your day-to-day life, from the time we get up to the time we sleep, all the work that we do, all the thoughts that we have done, how all those thoughts can be turned towards good vichara. That is, turned towards the self, turns towards Atma-jnana. And all our actions that we do, we should do vichara and see whether whatever we are doing, are we getting more and more bound, or are we becoming more and more dispassionate to whatever we are bound by. All the worldly objects that we want to acquire and possess and enjoy, is the mind becoming more and more withdrawn from all that, knowing the futility of these things, knowing that this will ultimately not give us anything? Is it becoming more and more free from all those entanglements by vichara? So, this vichara, I'll take some more slokas. This is also from Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha. दुष्पारे भवसागरे जनिमृति व्याध्यादि दुःखोत्कटे घोरे पुत्रकलत्र मित्र बहुल ग्राहाकरे भीकरे कर्मोत्तुंग तरंग भंग निकरैः आकृष्यमाणो मुहुः यातायात गति भ्रमेण शरणं किंचिन्न पश्याम्यहम् दुष्पारे भवसागरे जनिमृति व्याध्यादि दुःखोत्कटे घोरे पुत्रकलत्र मित्र बहुल ग्राहाकरे भीकरे कर्मोत्तुंग तरंग भंग निकरैः आकृष्यमाणो मुहुः यातायात गति भ्रमेण शरणं किंचिन्न पश्याम्यहम्. This is 265 number shloka, Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha. I was telling you, we must learn how to do vichara. Many of us do not know. So I was telling you what? I'm telling from my experience. Day-to-day things. What kind of vichara we will do? From morning till night, we are active. And whatever activities we are doing, we have to see whether we are clinging, whether we are possessive, whether this I-ness has come, the mindness has come, whether fear has come, anxiety has come, and for what reason. So vichara, whether the mind was only in possessing things, preserving things, only on one's personal things, personal happiness, or whether the mind has expanded. This dispassion is what? From the constriction you become spread. You spread into the whole world. Vasudhaiva kutumbakam. The dispassion is withdrawing from all that constricts us. Possessiveness, clingingness, ego, and all that. So, vichara has to be done seeing the everyday things. The everyday things are binding us. So, vichara has to be done through those everyday things, the everyday thoughts, and turning them towards this Atma or Brahman. So first, let us find out what are these everyday things, how we are looking at it, whether that outlook is okay or not, whether we should change that outlook and start thinking in a different manner. So what does this say? Dushpare bhavasagare janimriti vyadhyadi dukkhotkate घोरे पुत्र कलत्र मित्र बहुल ग्राहा करे भी करे कर्मोत्तुंग तरंग भंग निकरैहि आकृष्यमाणो मुहुः यातायात गति भ्रमेण शरणम किंचिन्न पश्याम्यहम्. It says that this life is an ocean of worldliness. Dushpare, it is difficult to go across. We are absolutely surrounded by worldliness. Maybe for some time we worship God, or we have some spiritual routine and we feel that we are in the touch of God or the self. Rest of the time we are in the worldliness and we don't find the self or God there. And we are only thinking of our own gains, how I will be happy, how I will acquire, how I will become more and more comfortable and luxurious, how I will do this or that and get some name and fame. All this we are engaged in. Only oneself, oneself, oneself. My, or I, me and my, me and my. The mind does not go elsewhere. Yes, we think that there is God and we go and do a namaskar in the morning after lighting lamp and we feel very happy that we have done puja to God. But then this God's world where I am living, that is also God. Do I spend any time thinking about that, reflecting upon that, doing vichara upon that? So, this says that this ocean of worldliness, and it is very difficult to go across this life. Janimriti vyadhyadi dukkhotkate. It is made more difficult by sorrow from birth, death and disease. Putra kalatra mitra bahula graha kare bhi kare. And this family, our wife, then children, the house, friends, relatives, everything, the attachment towards them is such. It is as if like in the water, in the ocean or river, crocodiles are there, they catch. It is like that. So this whole world, the life that we lead in our family life, all these things are there, but our attachment is such that as if the crocodiles have caught us and we are not able to get out of the grip of the crocodile and we are fearful. What is the attachment? Always the fear of losing. Fear of losing. There may be a family, children, possessions, always the fear of losing them. We may be enjoying, but at the back of the mind there is a fear of losing the near and dear ones, losing the property. Suppose I become poor. Suppose when I am sick, much money is not there. So always there is a fear. Karmottunga taranga bhanga nikaraihi. And all the work that we do, comes as a big wave. Various karma. It is with tall waves. Mohoho akrishyamanaha. And in that ocean of life, the life that we lead, I am bounced here and there. Suddenly, this thing will happen, that thing will happen. Whatever I don't want to do, I have to do. Whatever I want to do, I don't get it to do. Whatever I wish, it doesn't happen. Whatever I do not wish, all that I have to face. I think we can see our own lives. Everybody, I think, truthful introspection should be there. However much we have, everything, there is a shunyata. There is still a feeling that I am not fulfilled. Maybe there is not much of difficulty in the life, but still there is what will happen, what is next, what is next, that kind of feeling will haunt everybody. And that is why this shunyata comes. So, one is as if repeatedly and violently struck here and there. And the seeker says, I do not see any shelter anywhere. I do not see the shelter anywhere. So some seekers, their vichara will be in this direction. They will feel that this world is such that always it is bringing lot of agitations, disturbances, non-fulfillment to the mind, anxieties and worries in the mind. And whatever life I have, whatever family I have, I am attached to them, I cling to them, they cling to me. And ultimately as if I am bound and I am being, as if I am being bounced here and there in the ocean. So I don't find what I should do. What I should do. So for some it may not be this, but then say you are living quite peacefully. Then it says, Shraddha bhaktimatim satim gunavatim putran shrutan sammatan akshayam vasudhanya bhoga vibhavaihi shri sundaram mandiram sarvam nashvaramityavitya kavayah shrutyuktiviryuktivihi sanyastyanta paretu tatsukham iti bhramyanti dukkharnave. Shraddha bhaktimatim satim gunavatim putran shrutan sammatan akshayam vasudhanya bhoga vibhavaihi shri sundaram mandiram sarvam nashvaramityavitya kavayah shrutyuktiviryuktivihi sanyasyantya paretu tatsukhamiti bhramyanti dukkharnave. One is living the life very well. Everything is there. Every beautiful house, beautiful wife, a very efficient wife who looks after everything in the family. Children are very well behaved, well educated, and there is lot of wealth. So that your house has been decked up very nicely, comfortably, luxuriously you are staying. Shraddha bhaktimatim satim gunavatim, a virtuous, dedicated and devoted wife you have. Shrutan putran shrutan sammatan, good and well educated sons you have. Akshayam vasudhanya bhoga vibhavaihi, and akshayam dhanam, infinite wealth also you have. Now many may be like this, many may not be like that previous sloka that I chanted. Dushpare bhavasagare may not be feeling like that. And for many, I think most of the people are in this condition. Everything is there. Good wife, good children, lot of wealth. Akshayam vasudhanya bhoga vibhavaihi, and dhanya bhoga vibhavaihi. Shri sundaram mandiram, and one has lot of other thing, bhoga vibhavaihi, lot of things for enjoyment, and a beautiful house full of objects of enjoyment acquired through virtuous effort. That is a beautiful house which is very nicely decorated with whatever effort you have made to decorate it. There is a big Sri Sundaram Mandiram. The house is very beautiful. Sarvam Nashwaram Ityavetya Kavayah. Now, All these are transitory. Sarvam Nashwaram. All these are transitory. Iti Shruti Yuktibihi Avetya. And everything is transitory. Knowing that, how do we know? How do we come to know? We hear from somebody who knows it, the knower tells us, or we learn through the Shastras. So from Shruti, that is the sacred text, the Ukti, Shruti Ukti, that is what the sacred text or our scriptures, sacred scriptures, whatever they have said, and by reason, we have come to know that all this is transitory, is it not? Kavayaha sanyasyati. Now, some wise people, knowing that even though these are there, these are transitory, will not remain. So, they have come to know through the scriptures and through reason, and so, kavayaha sanyasyati. They give up the attachment towards them. So they may be living, but slowly they give up the possessiveness and attachment and clinging to what? To the wife or husband, children, the wealth, property, and that beautiful house. Remaining in the house, they remain as if they are living like a guest in that house, without any kind of possessiveness. We all get very much bound to what we consider ours. So, what is the Vichara to be done? The Vichara is this. So it says that some wise people, they have done Vichara and they have learned from the scriptures. Also they have done Vichara, that is through reason. They have understood that all these things are ephemeral, transitory, are short-lived. Tu apare. So they give up their attachment, they slowly take to a discipline so that their attachments towards them, towards all these things which they think that all these belong to us, slowly it all reduces. They are aware of it, they are alert, and through all their everyday living, mentally they become withdrawn. Outward they may be doing everything they have to do. You have to do your duties, you have to take up your responsibilities, you have to bring up your children, look after your wife, look after your parents, all that we have to do. With the knowledge that these are all short-lived, and the attachment and the binding that I have, I should be growing beyond them, beyond the attachment. It may be not these just objective things. It is even the thoughts, ideas, viewpoints. We are bound to them. We are attached to our viewpoints. All these things, these wise people, they know that these are transitory, and then they take to this pursuit of becoming disattached. Tu apare, that is those who are without discrimination, those who do not do any kind of discrimination, what do? Tat sukham dukkharnave bhramyati. Those who are without discrimination, who do not do any kind of vichara, they remain there. And what happened? They feel that these are very good. I have got a very beautiful house, beautiful wife, beautiful, good children, well-behaved children, educated children, well-settled children. I have got so much money, so very happy. Everybody respects me, very happy. But along with that comes all the dukkha. All this will not stay. You may have everything, but the wife may die. You may have everything, the children may leave you and do not look after you in your old age. You may have everything, but some money will be lost, property will be lost. Or having everything, you become diseased, so you cannot enjoy anything. So dukkharnave bhramyanti. So those who do not have discrimination, who do not do vichara, though they think that they are very happy with all these things, God is very good, very gracious, God has given me so much, I am very blessed, but they do not understand. Unless by viveka you start reflecting and understanding all these are futile, transitory, momentary, will not stay, and you start turning your mind towards that changeless one, from the changeful ones, from the plurality to that one, you will be only hit by dukkha. That is, those who are in the spiritual sadhana, and we are all in the spirituality, the midst of spirituality. Through everything we have to see that one presence. Whatever we do, whatever is had, whatever is lost, whatever comes, whatever goes, whatever we like, whatever we dislike, good, bad, everything, there is that one presence below. Everything is the self, everything is God. Nothing belongs to me, nothing. And all that I do, all that I am, is because of that will of the Creator, the one who has created me. This thought has to be constantly dealt upon. And these are all this way. Because even if you want to dwell upon these thoughts, we are not able to. Other thoughts will come. So these are very useful for learning how we think. To say, Shraddha Bhaktimatim Satim Gunavatim, when we look at our near and dear ones, we feel happy. We should be happy also. We should be happy, we should be feeling very delightful. But also have a thought that these are all transitory. These are all transitory. I should not be so much elated. I should be nakidyate, no vishayaif pramodate. Swasmin sada kridati nandati swayam. I should not be absolutely happy and elated by my possessions. It may be a wife, it may be children, it may be wealth, it may be house. It may be what people think of me, my qualifications. I should not become elated. I should know this I have got, God has given me, but all this is transitory, will not give the happiness permanent. I should turn to that infinite, that Atma, eternal, imperishable, which will give me bliss. Shraddha bhaktimatim satim gunavatim putran shrutan sammatan akshayam vasudhanya bhoga vibhavaihi shri sundaram mandiram sarvam nashwaramityvetya kavayah shrutyuktiviryuktivihi sanyasyantyapare tu tatsukhamiti bhramyanti dukkharnave. Okay. We'll continue next time. Sampurnam jagadeva nandanavanam sarvepi kalpadruma Gangam vari samasta vari nivaha punya samasta kriyaha vacha prakrita samskrita shruti shiro वाराणसी मेदिनी सर्वावस्थितिरस्य वस्तु विषया दृष्टि परब्रह्मणि सर्वावस्थितिरस्य वस्तु विषया दृष्टि परब्रह्मणि। जय गुरु, जय गुरु।